as Carmelo Anthony sat on the Oklahoma City bench in Madison Square Garden on Saturday night, waiting for the game against the Knicks to begin. The arena went dark. Anthony's return to New York for the first time since he was traded to the Thunder in September had been highly anticipated, in part because no one could be quite sure what kind of reception he would get from Knicks fans who watched him score a lot of points over the years without all that much to show for it. But when the pre-game blackout at the Garden suddenly cut away to a video tribute to Anthony, it was clear that no one was in the mood to boo him, at least not before tip-off. "Thank you, Melo," said the message from the Knicks in the video. "Thank you, too," said the cheering fans. Knicks teammates and Garden security guards greeted Anthony with handshakes and hugs during pre-game warm-ups. But once the game began, the dynamic shifted, as Knicks fans got down to the business of rooting for their team. They did cheer Anthony when his first shot of the game, a three-pointer, went in. But as the game progressed, and both teams took turns holding the first-half lead, Anthony heard cheers, too. Anthony seemed to take it all in stride. But what he could not do was come up with a memorable performance. He and his Thunder teammates ran out of gas one night after playing, and winning, a triple overtime game in Philadelphia. And so, not surprisingly, a 50-46 halftime lead for the Knicks became a 111-96 victory. The result left the Knicks, who were led by Michael Beasley's 30 points, with a 4-game winning streak and a better-than-expected 16-13 record. And it left the Thunder with a sobering 14-15 mark and still trying to mesh Anthony and Paul George, its two-star imports, with Russell Westbrook, the NBA's reigning most valuable player. Against the Knicks, Anthony played 32 minutes and scored 12 points while making only 5 of 18 shots. He had done better the night before against the 7-6 ERS, scoring 24 points in 47 minutes and grabbing 7 rebounds. But back-to-back games are never easy for a 33-year-old, even one with all the motivation Anthony no doubt had on Saturday night. His shot was mostly missing as the Knicks gradually pulled away in the second half. Also absent on Saturday was Kristaps Porzingis, who has replaced Anthony as the Knicks' go-to scorer but who sat out the game with a sore knee. Anthony's legacy with the Knicks is complicated. He led the Knicks to the playoffs several times in his 6.5 seasons in New York but never beyond the second round. There was also a lot of losing mixed in. Indeed, the Knicks won just 80 games over his last 3 seasons with the team. Anthony also had to deal with a growing perception that he was too focused on scoring and having the ball in his hands, and too unwilling to change his style of play. That stance led to the departure of one coach, Mike D'Antoni, and helped precipitate a battle of wills with Phil Jackson, the Knicks team president for about half of Anthony's tenure. Anthony won that feud, in that Jackson was pushed out in June while Anthony remained with the Knicks. But just months later, Anthony agreed to leave New York in a trade to the Thunder.